Hello everyone, this is Preeti Rani Rajvanshi from IMS Noida, Assistant Professor in School of IT, and I'm taking lecture on cloud computing. That is a subject in the APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow, in the MCA final year, 5th semester. It's elective, and we students got selected this elective for this semester. So let's start with the class. So basically, what is cloud computing? So cloud computing is an environment created in a user's machine from an online application stored on the cloud and run through a web browser. So in cloud computing, cloud means the internet and the computing means the compute. So you are going to compute or access anything like storage or anything from the cloud environment. So, in simple, cloud computing is using the internet to access someone else software running on someone else hardware in someone else data center. That means you don't have to worry about anything, whatever you are storing on your system. What are your requirement for the system to store? Everything will be taken care by the somebody else. Somebody else means the person or the company you are going to tie up with for your services. So basically, it's like the cloud computing. We have we need some services, and someone is going to provide us, and that will be from our side. So it can be a third party person. It can be take an example of Google, or you can take example of AWS or Azure or Salesforce. All are the service providers, and you are going to take the services from them, and everyone is providing the different services. Okay, so basically, from where we start for cloud computing, in 1950, IBM created RJE, remote job entry process. That concept evolves for the procedure, and in 2006, Amazon provided first public cloud, that is AWS. We are already in the it's on the trend. Uh, so these are the commercial clouds like AWS, Giant, QLayer, Beehive, Cycle Computing. Um, you just name it and it will be here. And Google, everything is there. HP, Citrix. So what are the benefits of cloud computing? So basically, when we are talking about the benefits, it means uh, whatever we are doing, it will reduce the complexity of networks, and you don't have to buy any software license, or don't need to have to worry about the upgradation, updation, or any buying things. It is very easy to customize. Providers that have specialized in particular areas such as email can bring advanced services that a single company might not be able to offer or develop. Like you can create your platter, whatever you want, and whichever person is good at it, you can buy it from them. And there is no hard and fast rule that you have to buy all the services from single person, because that is called the multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy means there are multiple people who are using the same thing at the same time without hampering anyone's data. So it is easily expendable, high rate of recoverability because it is online. So whenever you got stuck somewhere, it is easily recoverable. Scalability, reliability, and efficiency is high in cloud computing. Information or data at cloud are not easily lost. Rather, everything got lost because we have separate servers. We have a primary and secondary system, so that if primary goes down, then secondary will work at that place. So this is the cloud architecture. I'm giving the brief introduction about the cloud computing because everything we are going to discuss in detail in the coming units and coming lectures. So this is the services. What that means, we are at this layer, we are the users, and we are using everything. Like you are using your mobile, your laptop, your desktop, and connected with the internet. This is the layer where the platform as a service. There are three services provided by the cloud computing, like software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. These are the basic services, or you can say the major services provided by the computing. Others services are also there, like monitoring as a service, communication as a service, database as a service. Everything you can think of, that means X as a service. Everything as a service. Okay, so we have platform as a service. Like normally, whatever the platform we have, we can migrate that to cloud. We don't need to change the entire setup or of our side. This is the infrastructure as a service. That means your servers you are using in on premises, it will be on demand and on the other premises, or you can say at the premises of the service provider. So these are the solutions, or you can say the major structure. This is API, this is cloud operating environment, and this is the software defined environment. So there is the hardware, that means the server. We don't know where it is because we are the service takers from the service providers. So we don't know where the hardware is. So we are just getting the services through infrastructure as a service. So in this we have software defined compute, software defined storage, software defined networking, and these are the resources which are abstracted and optimized as per our requirements. Then we have workload definitions, optimization and orchestration. That means everything whatever we are going to use or anyone can use as we are working in a multi-tenancy environment. So it will be a workload balancer. So they use the load balancer at this stage. So then we have the platform as a service. That means the whatever we need, like we need data store, we need a mobile, we need a middleware, we need a service, operations, development, traditional middleware based workloads, APIs, integration services. All the services will be at the cloud operating environment. Then we have software as a service. That means whatever we are using at the user level. That means, say for example, Google. Google is providing us Google Drive, Gmail, and YouTube. Everything. Everything is online. That's why they launched the Google Chromebook. They don't have anything on their system. Everything is online. They just give you a system with a browser, uh, Chrome, and you can access everything because Google providing everything online. That is the part of Google Cloud. Then we have types of cloud, or you can say models of cloud. So we have four types of models, like public, private, community, and hybrid. So what is public cloud? So public cloud are made available to the general public. Like Google is providing us free of cost, and it is public. So like several services are there. AWS is providing, and Microsoft is providing, Google is providing, and operate the infrastructure and other offer access over the internet. When to choose public cloud? Uh, when you are using the specific application like email, so or to test or develop application code, the ability to code, compute resources, or peak times of allocations, working on collaboration projects. So we are using public cloud so that we can test it, we can work upon it, other people can integrate with us. Then we have private cloud. Private cloud is the cloud infrastructure dedicated to a particular organization. So, for example, I'm going to ask Google to prepare a private cloud for me. So that will be just for me only. There will be no open sharing, or there will be no other organization sharing that thing. So private clouds allow businesses to host applications in cloud while addressing concerns regarding data security and control, which is often lacking in a public cloud environment. When to choose? So you have to decide as an organization when to choose which type of cloud. So to provide private cloud services to your customers, you can choose private cloud. Data center must become more efficient because it is a private cloud and it is only for you. Want consistency across services because you need prime services. You go to private cloud. Then we have community cloud. A community cloud is a multi-tenancy. That means others are also using the same environment but without hampering your identity or your security. But there are some other people who are using the same thing. So a community cloud is a multi-tenancy cloud service model that is shared among several or organizations, and that is governed, managed, and secured commonly by all the particularly organization or a third party managed service provider. When to choose a community cloud? Same. When you are going to share your resources with the government organizations, with the state, or something like that, so then you can go for community cloud. Then hybrid cloud. Hybrid clouds are the composition of two or more clouds, like public private, private community, or community private. That means any two combination, any a combination of any two will be a hybrid cloud. So when to choose it? Organization want to use a software as a service application but is concerned about the security, then you can go for hybrid cloud. That means the your security part can be taken care by private, and your usage part can be taken care by either community or public. Want to use a public cloud to interact with the client but keep their data secured with a private cloud, so you can use both the clouds. Then as I already discussed, software as a service is for end user. That means if we are using any service, so we are the end user. Platform as a service for the developers. That means they are going to develop for us as an end user. Or if we are at the layer of developer, then we are the developers who are going to use platform as a service to make or develop a software as a service. Then we have infrastructure as a service. That means for network architects, for the people who are admin of our system, like database administrator, network administrator, everything that those who are architecting our environment for the people who are working in our organization, they will work for the infrastructure as a service. So software as a service means you need it, just run it for me. Like if you go for Gmail or Google Drive, you just click on Google Form, or you can click on Google Doc, and it will work for you. That means it's on demand service. Then for example, you can take examples of Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, YouTube, anything. Also they can provide security features such as SSL encryption and cryptographic protocol. It's an application that can access from anywhere on the world, as long as you can have a computer that with a internet connection, or a mobile with an internet connection. We can access this cloud hosted application without any additional hardware or software, or to be paid for anything. Platform as a service gives us a nice API, application programming interface, and take care of the implementation part. In the platform as a service model, cloud providers deliver a computing platform and or solution stack, typically including operating system, programming languages, execution environment, database, and web servers. It's a platform for developers to write and create their own software as a service applications, as we discussed earlier, which means rapid development at low cost. That means nobody is going to wait for anyone. If you need to develop it now, you can go for it. If you go for salesforce.com, you can create your APIs, you can use already created APIs, and you can create your own system. Like they use basically they use customer relationship management, so you can easily make leads, lead management system. You can easily create ERP. It is easy in Salesforce, and it is very impactful as well. Then we have infrastructure as a service. So it's known as hardware as a service. That means you don't buy don't need to buy any hardware. uh, it's a computing power that you can rent for a limited period of time, allows existing applications to be run on a cloud supplier hardware. Cloud providers offer computers as physical or more often as virtual machines, block storage, firewalls, load balancers, networks, everything. Then we have um, cloud computing is online, so we are having some pros and cons. So there are some issues as well with the cloud computing. Means lost control over data. So the data is not on your premises, so you lost your control on your data. It will be under control of your service provider, and if it is under control of your service provider, then you have to ask for it. Okay. Then data integrity. When a data is on cloud, anyone from any location can access those data from the cloud. uh, I can't say this that because cloud is not 100% secure, because if we talk about normal banking system, it also get hacked. So we have to work upon it so that data integrity can be more precise to it. Then data theft. uh, as I say that we got like paper agreement, everything with the vendors and the third party person, everything. But still, if our data get lost or theft, So this is an issue because we are not using on-premise system. Then privacy issue, the same. The vendor make sure that the customer personal info will not be shared, but servers are external. They are not in our premises. So vendor should make sure who is accessing the data, who is maintaining the server, thus enabling the vendor to protect the customer personal information. Then infected applications. So when we use our systems, we got our problems like viruses, Trojan horse, everything. So vendors should have the complete access to the server for monitoring and maintenance, thus preventing any malicious user from uploading any infected applications, so that they can easily check and update the affected customer or the cloud or the service. Then data loss. Data loss is a very serious problem in cloud computing. If the vendor closes due to financial or legal problems, there will be a loss of data for the customer. The customer won't be able to access the data because you don't pay it. If you don't pay it, you can't access it. If you didn't renew it, there are some services where you have to pay for putting your data and you have to pay for accessing your data, or you want to delete that data from their side, you have to pay them as per their services. Then data location. We don't know our data location. So as a thing, it's a good thing because if we don't know, the hackers also don't know. But in case it got leaked, the vendor does not reveal where all the data are stored. The data won't even be in the same country of the customer. It might be located anywhere in the world. Security on vendor level. Vendor should make sure that the service is well secured from all the external threats it may come across. A cloud is good only when there is a good security provided by the vendors to the customer. Security on user level. You have to be very careful that you don't share anything with anyone, so that anyone can access your data. Even though the vendor has provided a good security layer for the customer should make sure that because of its action, in its own action, there should not be any loss of data or tampering of data for other users who are using the same cloud. Thank you so much. I'm Preeti. I hope you like the video, and if you like the video, please share it, and uh, stay safe, stay home, and keep learning.